What is up, guys? Welcome back to Cozy Talks. Today is our Friday special. We're going to go over all our bets, picks, slips, and go over our recap of Tuesday real quick. Give you guys our run through of the card again. Fill you in on any withdrawals, any news since we last saw you guys. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And if you haven't already, go ahead and give us a like and subscribe. Also, comment, leave us a comment, tell us about your day, and share the video. We appreciate it.
Hell yeah. With that being said, let's jump into it, guys. We got a little bit of news, so we'll fill you in real quick. Maker again had another withdrawal. Fucking, he's the guy nobody wants to face on this card. Apparently, I'm just glad they found him an opponent. We'll go over that in a sec. But yeah, had on withdrew. Rumor has it he might have broke his foot again. I wasn't even aware that he broke his foot, but whatever. Anyway, open up the card. We got Vyacheslav-Borshev versus Mateus Camilo. My pick was Camilo, and I'm still rocking with that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I flipped on this and I went with Slava Claus. I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna stick with it. I got Slava Claus getting upset.
Okay. Next fight, we get Baysunger Susurkayev versus Eric Makhachev. I've been on Susurkayev. That's still my pick here.
Yeah, 100%. I gotta go with Susakayev as well.
Yeah. Next fight, we got Angela Hill versus Fatima Klein. She's from New York, so I gotta roll with the hometown girl here.
Yeah, Fatima Klein's a dog, dude. She's nasty on the feet. It's gonna be a very, very interesting fight when she faces a tough vet like Angela Hill, but I got Fatima Klein winning that fight.
Yeah. Next fight, we get a rematch: Chepe Mariscal versus Pat Sabatini. I think Sabatini won it the first time.
I believe so.
But I'm taking Sabatini to win it this time. I got him on the scorecards.
I'm hoping Chipe comes in here with a different game plan from the first time they fought. I got Chipe winning that fight against Sabatini. Like I said, sorry, Pat. I
Suck,
do not
Pat.
like you, dude. I just don't like you, bro.
Next fight, we get GM3, Gerald Mearshart versus Kyle Dawkins. I'm rolling with the Darce Knight here, Kyle Dawkins.
Yep. I got Kyle Dawkins. I got him by knockout. I think he can get it done.
One thing I'm curious of is GM3 from New York? No, he's from Wisconsin. That's right. I remember that. Never mind. Because I'm just thinking like this is probably his retirement fight. I mean, the dude's been getting slammed for the last like 2 years, and
Over 50 fights.
yeah,
That's
it's
crazy.
crazy.
How old is he?
He is 38, 39. Where's it at?
37.
37. Fuck, dude. Yeah,
Damn,
that's
dude.
crazy. A lot of fights. Here's the new fight we got going for Malcolm Wellmaker against Ethan Ewing. Ethan Ewing just fought last we saw like what was it,
Yeah.
8 days ago,
It
a week
it
ago.
was 6. It was 6 days ago.
Crazy. So by the time fight night rolls around, it'll be 8 days. So crazy shit going on there. He's a pretty interesting opponent because he started 0-2 and he's on an 8 fight win streak. He has 7 knockouts on his record. But UFC is a different ball game, so I'm rolling with Malcolm Wellmaker again. He's
100%.
he's coming out on a full camp versus a guy who probably had to cut weight to make it less than a week ago, and he hasn't fought at this level yet. So
I was watching the embedded videos. They showed Wellmaker doing some training in the athlete hotel. Wellmaker looks great, dude. He looks very great.
yeah, rocking with our blue collar boy,
Oh yeah. I got Wellmaker winning that fight.
and
Fucking highlight knockout.
I'm hoping so, bro. Get that New York crowd popping. Next fight, we forgot to mention this in the Tuesday video, but this is a rematch. I was gonna put some text on it, but I figured we would just talk about it now. So Aaron Blanchfield and Tracy Cortez have fought before. They fought back on the Invicta FC regional scene, and Aaron Blanchfield was 19 at the time, and she lost to Tracy Cortez, who was 25 or 23 or something like that, by split decision. Obviously, we've seen how their careers have played out here in the UFC. I think Aaron Blanchfield is way above Tracy Cortez as far as skill goes, just from what we've seen, recently. Uh, yeah, I got Aaron Blanchfield here in this matchup.
Yeah, man. Aaron Blanchfield's a dog. I see her outworking Tracy Cortez and just
Yeah.
being the better fighter overall. I'd be really surprised if Cortez were to pull something off, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. Just playing MMA math. I mean, they both fought Rose. Cortez got smoked by Rose, and then Blanchfield beat Rose. So just a little piece of knowledge there. Next fight up in the prelim, we got Roman Kopylov versus Gregory Rodriguez, RoboCop. This one I have a hard time picking on, man. We talked about how RoboCop, his game plan should probably be to wrestle. They asked him that in his interview. Um, you know, there's a stat floater around that Kopylov has an 87% takedown defense. So it's like, that takedown is going to be very hard to come by, just given those numbers. But I still trust RoboCop here to dig out a win. It's gonna be a good fight though. This might be fight of the night.
Oh yeah, I'm expecting fireworks. I mean, Rodriguez, yeah, he has that wrestling and grappling in his back pocket, but at the end of the day, he's a striker. And I mean, Kopylov as well. He's a very technical, very clean fucking kickboxer. I mean, I forget the dude he knocked out with that crazy head kick, but I
Jack
remember watching
Hermanson.
that. No, 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 not Jack Hermanson.
That
It
wasn't
was it
no
was
head kick, was it?
Kopylov.
No.
No, it was
Oh,
Kopylov. Kopylov
we can
knocked
look
this
real
dude
quick.
out.
It was Chris
Um,
Curtis,
mm-mm. Before
Claudio
that,
Ribeiro.
yeah, Ribeiro. Yeah, Ribeiro, dude. That was an insane head kick, bro. It was just so fast, so snappy. It was crazy because I had to walk out of the room, and my girlfriend was still in the room, and as soon as I walked out, I just hear her screaming, and I walked back in, and I watched them replay that highlight, and yeah, they did. Anyways, Kopylov, dude, he's real technical, he's real fast. I got Kopylov. I got Kopylov. It really sucks because I really like the dude, but he's pretty old. I mean, he's up there. He's up there. He's not like a young prospect coming into the rankings.
You talking about Kopylov?
But yeah, I talk about
Oh
Kopylov
yeah,
here.
he's been in the UFC a while, and he didn't
Yes.
really pop on the radar for me until that head kick that you're talking about against Ribeiro.
Yeah, most definitely until recent, and then even before that, he had two fights that he was coming off of finishes. But I got Kopylov in here, dude.
Yeah,
I think he could get it done, maybe inside the distance as well, But I got my money on Roman Kopylov.
yeah. Next fight, we got the featured prelim. Used to be a main card fight, but he lost his Dana White privilege card, and
Thank God.
now he gets to be the featured prelim of the night, which is still annoying.
Yeah, no.
But
Honestly, I think Aaron Blanchfield and Tracy Cortez should be the fucking feature prelim, in my opinion.
well, women's MMA, nah, nope, nope.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
They're
Always,
hating
always
on it. They're
dogging,
hating on it.
always dogging on women's MMA.
Yeah. Bo Nickel versus Rodolfo Vieira, though. This has been, this is one of those stylistic matchups. You get the American wrestling versus a guy who is a very, highly credentialed BJJ player, has high level grappling. If this fight plays out on the feet, from what we've seen from Bo Nickel, I just don't trust his striking whatsoever. Vieira at least has more experience and, has, been in the UFC for a bit of time. He's 6-3 in the UFC. Bonical 4-1, but his fight's been kind of gimmies. He went to a decision with Paul Craig, which, just given recency, that's not very impressive whatsoever. Paul Craig has been the guy that's, kind of like the litmus test. If you're not finishing Paul Craig, your career probably isn't playing out too great at that time. But yeah, we got one guy who lost to Randy Ritter, and we got Vieira who is coming off of a win. Who's he coming? He beat Trayshawn Gore? Yeah, Trayshawn Gore.
Yeah, my
Um,
decision.
so I don't know. I mean, both these guys are kind of middle of the pack right now in their careers, but I definitely trust Vieira more to get this done. So Vieira's my pick.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is my underdog lock of the week, underdog of the week, blah blah blah. I got Rodolfo Vieira winning this. I think he's just gonna have a lot more experience going into this fight against a dude like Bo Nickel, who, like you said, went to decision with Paul Craig, just got finished by RDR. And even rewatching some of Bo Nickel's fights, yeah, his striking, is not.
No.
I remember what you said, when he fought Val Woodburn, I watched that. I watched that fight again,
In, out, in,
and yeah,
out.
dude, it was like, what are you doing there? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, you're striking, but like, also you just beat a dude who was just doing landscaping.
Yeah. And it was short
Anyways,
notice. It was a short notice fight
yeah,
too, if I
and it
remember
was
right.
real short notice. Yeah, real short notice. But I got Rodolfo Vieira winning this fight. I just think it'll be way too hard for Bo Nickel to, possibly get the upper hand against a guy like Vieira or even finish him. I mean, Vieira's never been knocked out. And I don't see Bo Nickel possibly getting submission on a dude like him. Vieira's also huge.
He's a
He's
he's a,
pretty
he's a
fucking
big
he's
boy.
he's pretty fucking huge. His arms are enormous, but I got Vieira. And like I said in the Tuesday video, he has been spotted with the fighting nerds. So gotta go with another fighting nerds fighter.
Yep.
So I got Rodolfo Vieira in that fight.
Next fight, we get the main card opener. This is gonna be another banger. I think this was a very underrated fight. Get Beneil
Hmm.
Dariush versus Benoit Saint Denis. I mean, just given like what we've seen for Benoit now that he's actually with the proper gym, because that was the whole thing when he fought Rufy was that he wasn't with the real camp until the Rufy fight. Uh, seeing the levels that he brought to that fight, it's either Rufy was just that bad that night or Benoit was just that good. And I'm kind of thinking it's just Benoit being that good because his losses have been to guys that have been ranked for a while. He lost to Moicano, lost to Dustin Poirier, who has fought for the title multiple times. Who else did he lose to? He lost to um oh, it's not even fucking way back here. He's Zaleski, old. Anyway, two of his losses though, very, very valid losses.
Yeah, his most recent losses.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm rocking with Benoit here.
It's funny because it's real funny because I'm actually the exact opposite here. I mean, and another thing too, if you want to play MMA math, Benoit got bitched by Moicano,
Mm-hmm.
and then Dariush went and bitched Moicano.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, MMA math there, but I mean, that's out the window. I got Dariush winning this fight. Honestly, I got Dariush winning this fight. I mean, you could say you kind of say the same for Dariush. His most recent losses are against dudes like Armin and against a guy like Charles Oliveira.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, uh,
Arguably better losses than what Benoit lost to.
yeah, and I hate to say it, I really do, but I think it was just Mauricio Rufy being that shit at grappling and wrestling. I hate to say it, I really do, because as much as I love Rufy, his style is just so beautiful. His striking, it's just so on point. It's the type of shit, a fight fan would love to see. But
Mm.
at the end of the day, you got to come prepared when it comes to these high level fights.
Yeah,
And
100%.
I don't think Mauricio Rufy was prepared for that level of fight against a dude like BSD. Rufy was, and I hate to say it, but it kind of goes with the same as Gene Silva. Both of all the fighting nerds were kind of riding on this, high horse, getting a lot of attention, blah blah blah. And I don't know, I feel like Rufy was just that shit. I hate to say it, but I think they have a weakness besides if you're Kyle Barallo, I think there's a weakness in that gym, and I think it's grappling and wrestling when it comes to these dudes who are heavy strikers.
Mm.
I mean, look at Prates when he took his first loss. He lost to a dude who hug fucked him against the cage almost the whole fight.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, Gene Silva, he fucking allowed Diego Lopez to get full fucking mount on him in the first round and land disgusting elbows on his bald head. Mauricio Rufy had nothing on the ground for BSD. But at the end of the day, that's all besides the point. I think Dariush will come in here and I think he'll show BSD what's up. Because, BSD being or not BSD, Dariush being where he's been, and he's been in the rankings for a long time. And he got that old man strength.
Yeah,
You know
yeah. He's
what?
he's one
What?
of the few guys that beat Gamrot. A lot of guys
Yeah.
say they beat
I,
Gamrot.
I don't know, dude. I think Dariush can get it done. I mean, unless BSD just goes out there and just fucking strikes with Dariush.
I think he has to chin. I
I
think he has to chin Dariush to get him out of there. I don't,
what
if this goes to
what
the mat, it's gonna be like a stalemate because Dariush has really high level
100%.
wrestling.
100%. I think BSD needs to chin him for sure. But
Mm.
nah, I got the underdog in this fight. Give me the old grandpa Benel Dariush.
Grandpa. All right.
He's not even that old, but he looks like a grandpa.
Yeah. Moving on. We got Leon Edwards versus another fighting nerd, just like you're talking about. Carlos Prates. In this one, I feel like it's pretty plain and simple. It's gotta be Carlos Prates. Leon
100%.
Edwards as of late has not been, you know, I think he's just riding too much of a high from being that head kick. He has some crazy ego going on. He beat Usman the second time, which was a valid win, but then he beat a washed ass Colby Covington, and then he comes out and gets bitched by Bilal, and then he loses to Sean Brady. Um, Granted, that wasn't even supposed to be Leon Edwards' opponent. He was supposed to fight Ian Gary, if I remember right. Um, Pretty sure they had some sort of like matchup or rumor mill going on, but it wasn't supposed to be John Brady that he was supposed to be fighting. There's some sort of mix up with that whole fight. But anyway, yeah, back to this fight. I think Carlos Prates gets this done. A finish, I'm not sure because I don't think Leon Edwards ever been knocked out. Yeah, no, and that's really the only way I see Prates winning is by knockout. I don't see him getting a sub. So I think this, has all the potential to be just a grueling 3 rounder. I think Prates comes out on the scorecards here.
Yeah, I keep going back to, saying the embedded videos, but I mean, going and watching the embedded videos, it actually gives you a lot of information and like seeing where some of these fighters are, during their training camp leading up to, fight night. And from what I've been getting, from Leon Edwards in his fight camp is that Leon Edwards pretty much said laying and praying and wrestling won't get him back to that position where he is in line for a title shot.
Yeah.
And even his coach, he was talking to the camera and he was like, "Yeah, we're training for a 2 round fight. We know a dude like Prates is, a very high level striker." And exactly like Edward says, getting a decision win here, he thinks that getting a finish here over a dude like Prates will get him back in line for the title. And then
Yeah.
you got a guy like Prates who loves a finish. He even said that he deserves a title shot because he said this on the press conference. He was like, he believes believes he deserves the next title shot if he were to go out here and get a win over Leon Edwards, especially a finish, because he's the type of dude who goes out there and finishes guys. And I mean, another thing as well is Prates even said this himself because I believe an interviewer asked him, how do you feel about Leon Edwards being one of those guys who's never been finished in his career? Prates went on to say, I mean, look at some of the dudes that I've already knocked out. Some of those dudes have never been knocked out in their career. Li Jingliang, for example.
Mm.
And Prates was the first dude to finish him. So, I mean, there is a very high chance that Pratis goes out there and just fucking knocks out Edwards. I mean, Nate Diaz rocked him.
Mm.
Nate Diaz rocked him. Nate Diaz could have finished him, but he wanted to style on him a little bit. But I really do see a Pratis finish here. I think both of these dudes will be looking for something, and another thing as well is like we can't forget about where they're fighting at. Madison Square Garden, Madison Square Garden is known for having these just the electric fights.
Mm.
So, nah. I got practice by knockout.
All right. Next fight. Yeah, this is another fight in the welterweight division. We got back-to-back bangers in the welterweight division. This is good, like we talked about on Tuesday. This card's going to cause a lot of movement for that division. Um,
You
and
know, I don't mean to cut you off,
you're good.
but one thing that kind of disappointed me watching the press conference of all these welterweights on stage. There's 6 welterweights. sitting all together. And another fucked up thing is that they put Leon Edwards sitting right next to Sean Brady. That shit was hella fucking funny. Um, there was no fucking shit talk, dude. I was looking for some shit talk, bro, because you got this fighter going like, "No, I deserve the title if I win this fight. No, I deserve the title." And then you got the both of these champs sitting up here in JDM and Islam who are
Mhm.
about to fight. I mean, fuck, dude, where was the competition? You know what I mean? Where was the okay, not the competition, but where's the fucking shit talk, bro? I wanted to see
Yeah.
some shit talk, dude. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? You
Yeah.
know, because this is heavy for the welterweight division.
Yeah.
Having six welterweights on one fight card.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I just was kind of hoping for a little bit of shit talk because you got Pratis over here going like, no, I deserve the shot. Leon Edwards, Brady, Morales. I mean, fuck, dude. I don't know. That's just all I wanted to say. My bad.
You're good. Yeah, so I was kind of sitting on it and thinking about it. If we get Protest to win and we get Morales to win, what are the odds that we get a Protest Morales fight, number one contender fight? Or like I said, Shavkat could be in the mix here. Shavkat could be fighting, any of these guys. He could be fighting a loser JDM Islam for all we know. But Shavkat's got to fit in this mix somewhere. But given the activity out of Morales and Protest, this could be a number one contender fight if they both were to win. You could be setting some up with these both of these guys. Um, but yeah, no. Back to the Sean Brady Morales fight though. An 18-0 guy being undefeated, at the age that he is, he's 20, 26, still super young in his career, and he's going against Sean Brady, who, you know, he's done his thing in the UFC. He's been right here for the title shot, and they haven't gave it to him yet. That just kind of speaks to how busy this division is, because he could have had a shot. Um, but yeah, like I said, there's just too much going on, too many busybodies in the top of the rankings, too much going on to where you have guys coming in on heavy streaks, and it's like you got to award it to some guy. And unfortunately, Sean Brady's kind of been the no pun intended, he's kind of been the short guy here. Um, you know, I think Morales gets this done, and I think this could be that fight where we get that high real knockout. That really puts a stamp on it. Because Sean Brady's been knocked out once. That's his only loss, and it was a knockout to Bilal Muhammad, which I don't know, bro. Every time I look
Who?
at yeah, remember what name? Every time I look at that fight, though, I'm just like it's really confusing how you're so dominant against a Leon Edwards and you finish Leon Edwards, something Bilal couldn't do, but Bilal finishes you with his striking. And it's just a really, really weird thing going on. I don't know if Sean Brady just ate some bad food and just was just shitty. I don't know what's going on with him. But no, yeah, I think Morales gets it done, bro. He's a freak. I don't know exactly how long this dude's gonna be at welterweight. He could move up at any time, go to middleweight, and even make some noise there. He's a big guy.
Yeah, Michael Morales, dude. He is. I feel like one of those phenoms, in my opinion. But he's kind of like a dark horse,
Hmm.
just a little bit. Because he hasn't had a whole lot of these, like, especially early in his career, he hasn't had a whole lot of these like crazy finishes. And
Hmm.
so as of recent, finished Gilbert Burns. Um, but this dude's nasty, dude. I feel like like you were just saying, Sean Brady got finished by Bilal Muhammad, and Michael Morales is a huge guy. He lands one shot on you, you're gonna feel that.
Hmm.
I rewatched that Gilbert Burns fight, and yeah, he landed one clean one on Burns, and Burns was on weak knees, and
Hmm.
Morales went in for the kill. Um, yeah, I got Michael Morales winning here, and in my opinion, it is crazy that he's an underdog. He is massive compared to Sean Brady, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think not just by like height and reach, just size. I mean, like you were just saying, Buddy could be fighting up at middleweight. I mean, he's a big dude, and he likes boys, and he is not. He is not afraid to touch boys. So that
Yeah.
is a scary motherfucker, bro. I would not want that dude across from me. That's all I gotta say. So I got Michael Morales. I got my money on Morales. That
Yeah.
is another lock underdog of this week, Michael Morales, in my opinion. I got my money all over the man. No
Mhm.
homo.
All right, next fight. We get our co-main. We get into one of our title fights of this card. We get the Valentina Shevchenko. Bullet Shevchenko versus Weili Magnum Zhang. This is this is a big fight here. Well, you didn't like I said Weili Zhang.
No,
So used to
I was
saying
just I was
so used to
I was
saying
just I
Zhang
was
Weili, bro.
hell yeah, real for real. But I was just gonna say, I hope you guys see how stacked this card is. I mean, just the prelims alone, and then this main card now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are so excited for this card. Ooh, I got chills just thinking about it, bro. But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah,
Yeah.
we got the co-main fight here.
Yeah, building back into it. So we get a very long anticipated fight. This fight has been talked about for a long time because Zhang Weili has done circles on the division. She's cleared out strawweight. She's on to the next best thing. 26-3, moving up, challenging Valentina Shevchenko for the flyweight championship. 25-4-1. Valentina, she defended her title against Mano Fiorot last time out, and there are fights to make for Shevchenko here, but this is the fight to make because they're both these girls are very old for women's MMA. So the kind of the question here is how many more fights do they both got left? This could be just the fight that retires both of these girls if they really wanted to. Who knows? This is kind of a just a thought. Will they retire? Probably not. I think it just really depends on how they handle this fight, because they might have to run it back. Like we talked about on Tuesday. If this ends up going to the scorecards, and if it's even like remotely close on the scorecards, there's probably going to be a number two for this one. Um,
100%.
so we'll see how that goes. But I think that's only if Zhang Weili wins. If Zhang Weili loses, who knows? I don't think they would. I don't think they would redo a rematch for the challenger if she lost. I think there'd be a bit of a ladder to climb for her. But if she does win, I think they get that immediate rematch set up. But my pick in this one on Tuesday I said Shevchenko. On Friday I say Zhang Weili. And
That's what I
and
like to
And
hear.
it's really for me, it's really coming down to how dominant Zhang Weili's wrestling is and how high level her striking is. I was watching a breakdown of the Tatiana Suarez fight and how she handled the clinch. Uh, she's violent in the clinch, and I didn't realize how violent she was until I saw the breakdown. She will punish you if you want to clinch with her. She likes to elbow in close, and she likes to throw knees up the middle and damage the body. Valentina, she relies a lot on her her leg kicks and her high kicks. But she's also a very straightforward kickboxer. Uh, and if she wants to get in close, that's gonna work totally against you in this one. I don't think you're gonna be able to lay and pray with Zhang Weili. We saw Zhang Weili just wrestle an All-American Tatiana Suarez and out wrestle her and just totally dominate her. You're not gonna want to go to the ground with Zhang Weili here. Zhang Weili can pick up Francis Ngannou. She picked up Shaq. She's a strong little girl, dude. And I think this has and new written all over it for this one.
Oh man, I love it. I've been a huge fan of Wei Lee ever since I saw her get the belt first. Watching her fight against Andrade, seeing her finish Andrade, seeing her fucking insane fight with Joanna Jędrzejczyk, that was, in my opinion, one of the greatest fights I've ever witnessed. But exactly like you said, dude, Wei Lee is a beast, and she is a non-stop type of machine. You get her in any type of position, she is looking to lay damage on you no matter where she's at. You
Hmm.
know, you're on top of her. She's looking for a way out, and as she's looking for a way out, she's looking for a way to punish you as well. You know, you get in the clinch with her, like you said, she is nasty in the clinch,
Yeah.
and she's gonna be kind of, you know, kind of the smaller fighter, you know, and yeah, dude, I think she's gonna be, in my opinion, the toughest challenge that Shevchenko has seen.
Mm.
I mean, Whaley has it all. She has the wrestling background. She has the striking, the clinch game. She's insanely fast as well. I think Whaley's going to be the fastest girl that Shevchenko has ever faced, in
Yeah.
my opinion. And you know, like I said, Whaley is just that type of fighter,
He's
like
like
Marab,
Marab.
who, yeah, just like Marab. You know, you get her in these positions where it's like, oh fuck, you know,
You're getting
I
five
got her,
hard.
I got her. And now Whaley just turns it around. I mean, watching back at that fight at UFC 300 with Zhao Yang, Zhao Yang got her in this crazy choke, and Whaley fucking survived it, and then fucking punished Zhao Yang for it. Just
Mm.
bitched her the rest of the fight, out wrestled her, out grappled her, and yeah, dude, I got Whaley winning here. The only way Shevchenko wins here, in my opinion, is by just outworking her on the feet and keeping her distance from Whaley,
Yeah.
and possibly throwing some crazy head kick to wobble her.
Yeah.
I mean, only person who's beaten Wei Lee in the UFC has been Rose.
And beat her twice.
Beat her
Literally
twice.
twice. That's both her
Yeah,
losses. She's 7-2, and both those are Rose.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Only girl to beat Wei Lee is Rose Namajunas.
Yeah.
So if, in my opinion, if Valentina can learn, or you know, kind of implement what Rose did there, kind of be the longer fighter, try to be the longer fighter, keep distance. Yeah, Shevchenko. I don't know. Shevchenko has a chance, but in my opinion, dude, nah.
No chance.
Whaley's a dog, bro. And like I said, I've been a fan of her ever since she got that belt.
Yeah.
So I got Jiang Whaley and new
Another
double
dog.
champ,
Another dog.
double champ, first double champ from China, making
Mm.
history.
She'll be
I
the
got Jiang
second.
Whaley.
She'll be the second woman other than Amanda Nunes.
I got Zhang Weili, bro. I've always, like I said, ever since I've seen Zhang Weili fight, I've always thought in my head she is going to be the greatest of all time women's MMA fighter. As much as I love Amanda Nunes, Zhang Weili is the modern era GOAT of women's MMA when it comes to, yeah, modern era UFC. So I got
Yeah.
I got Zhang Weili winning here.
All right, Z. We're moving on to our main event.
Oh
UFC 322
boy.
main event. Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev. Another double champ potential fight here. Islam
Yeah,
moving
yeah.
up from lightweight, coming to challenge Jack at welterweight.
Yeah, if you guys haven't already, please leave us a like, comment on the video. Let us know how you are feeling about our picks, about what we've been talking about. We really appreciate the feedback, guys, and we appreciate your support. My bad. Um, fucking up.
Yeah, god damn
Anyways,
it.
love you guys. Thank you. Let's get into the last fight of the night.
Yeah.
Joe?
Yeah, so we got, like we said, we got Jack Della versus Islam Makhachev. You know, Jack's not even his name. It's like Giacomo. It's like some
That's crazy.
it's like some Italian ass name. I was seeing what people talk about on Twitter. But anyway, more relevant to this, you know, we get a clash of styles here. We get Jack, who is heavy on the feet, heavy on the boxing. We know he wants to strike. We got Islam, who trains with
He's
Khabib,
also
who we know
he's
wants to
also
wrestle. Hey, what's going on?
JD is also very anti-wrestling as well. He has a lot of that shit in his back pocket as well.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, we're getting a clash of game plans where they both have talked about how they want to how they want to deal with each other. Islam said he wants to get him down early, wrestle him, and you know, look for a submission. Jack says that he wants to fight off the wrestling and starch him on the feet. So we're getting a clash of two very different styles, uh, and it's just, you know, who's going to be better in the other's world, and that's really the big question here. You know, we've seen Jack training with Craig Jones. Craig Jones, granted, is a BJJ genius, but he's never been in an MMA fight. So, you know, we give him credit, but don't give him all the credit because, you know, you don't do BJJ with gloves on. You don't do
Oh yeah.
BJJ in an octagon. So there are certain, asterisks to it. But he is training with a very high level, grappling coach who, understands positioning. And, Islam, you can say the same for him, training with Khabib and, having a heavy sambo background and, understanding how to keep top position and stay heavy. It's going to be, Jack's going to have to, use the cage to his advantage, work up quick. Don't get stuck, because as soon as you get stuck, that's when you're in deep waters and you're going to be in a lot of trouble. But I think this fight's going to go, into the later rounds. It might even touch championship rounds. And if it does, I think Jack is going to absolutely just kill Islam. I have a very hard time seeing this go to the scorecards. I think however this ends, it's got to be inside the distance for these guys, and I think Jack can get it done here. I think if he works the body and just starts gassing Islam, it's gonna cause a lot of problems, especially later in this fight. I think Jack can get the finish here. I think Ant's still
Oh
in this
yeah.
one.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. I just want to, take a moment real quick though, just to realize how huge this fight is. The
Hmm.
potential, you know, what like, the biggest question is like what happens after this? That's the biggest question. But that's something completely different. Uh but yeah, man, this fight is huge, insane. I got JDM winning here, and I think JDM can knock out Islam Makhachev, in my opinion. I think JDM can outwork him. I think JDM is prepared for that wrestling. I think Islam is going to struggle. I think Islam is going to get a couple of takedowns. I feel like they'll be kind of late in rounds because, I feel like that's what mostly happens in a lot of striker versus wrestler type of matchups. The wrestler ends up kind of finding the takedown, late in the round and then kind of finishing off the round like that, with top control. But I agree with you, dude. I feel like if this fight reaches the later rounds, I think JDM could possibly find a finish. I think
Hmm.
the biggest question though is if JDM can keep up with that heavy wrestling grappling pace that Islam is gonna set. Because in my opinion, Dustin could have finished Islam. Dustin could have finished Islam, bro. Islam was getting tired in that fight. He was getting tired, but Islam kept that heavy wrestling and just fucking caught Dustin, took him down, caught his ankle. Like I said, if JDM could kind of can keep up with that pace, avoid the takedowns, avoid the grappling, like you said, use the cage to his advantage, and use that anti wrestling against Islam. I think JDM could get it done. JDM has a huge fight IQ in my opinion as well.
Hmm.
His boxing is just so clean. He knows how to position himself and like move into angles and find clean shots. And that's another thing as well is he doesn't land just like one, two. He lands good, clean, long combinations that a lot of fighters don't do. And like even the current lightweight champ Ilya Taporia, he talked about that as well. A lot of fighters don't do that long combinations, and Jack Della, he does that.
Hmm.
He finds you in that position and he lands, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they're not all just to the same spot. He's going to the top, he's going to the body, he's going to your legs. He's kneeing up the gut. JDM is just he has a huge IQ, very very clean boxer. But you also got Islam. And I feel like there's a reason why he's a heavy favorite. I mean, this is literally Khabib if Khabib didn't retire.
Hmm.
In my opinion, this is where we'd be seeing Khabib at.
Hmm.
Um, it's tough. In my honest opinion, it is really fucking tough. Because just seeing how Islam is able to just just find that I don't know, dude. He's just so dominant with the wrestling and the grappling,
Hmm.
you know. Um, that's it, man. JDM just needs to avoid that. He needs to keep up with that pace. He can't allow himself to get tired or get outgassed, you know, because as much as Islam kind of gasses out when it gets to the later rounds, um, he'll I don't know, he'll take advantage of it.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, I got JDM winning this. I got my money on JDM, and still.
All right. Well, that's it for the picks here. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna hop over into the bets or the live lines and kind of just go over these real quickly. Um, kind of broke it up because there's been a couple fights that have moved around. So open up the card. Camilo still riding as the favorite over Borishev. You're on the Borishev money line, I'm guessing, or do you have a prop? I'm on the Camilo. I don't know if I'm really gonna be too crazy on props. I did make a method of victory for each section of this card, but I'll go over that when we get there. So let's go to that. They don't have anything on the Ewing Melt Wellmaker fight. It's not actually going to be in this spot either. When I last saw it's opening up the prelim section, not the early prelim section. Next fight, Sir Sakai versus Makhachev. I didn't realize the odds were that wide.
Oh yeah, Suzuki was a huge favorite.
Damn. So that's gonna be one that we're. I mean, let's look into it. Let's look at his KO prop minus 210. Fuck.
You know, honestly, I was looking at it. It's like, yeah, minus 150. Suzukaev to win in round one.
Round one.
Yeah, I mean, if
Yeah, right
anything,
here minus 145.
yeah, there's not a whole lot of money to make on this fight. I mean,
It's a
especially with such a
parlay
heavy
piece,
favorite.
100%.
Yeah. Um, if anything, just enjoy the fight. You're gonna see a banger for sure from Suzukaev.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. Next fight was Angela Hill and Fatima Klein, I think. We'll just cover because I see it right here. Uh Fatima Klein's a pretty heavy favorite. And
You
I
know,
think it's rightfully so.
one thing I was kind of eyeing was Fatima Klein by submission. I think Angela Hill, you know, being kind of the smaller fighter, I
Hmm.
think she's gonna look for some takedowns.
Okay. What do we got for Klein by 550? And it's crazy because Klein in her MMA career only has like one or two submissions. She has four knockout wins.
Hmm.
And her knockout props less than her sub prop. But
I mean,
it's also one because Angela Hill has never been knocked out, and two,
yeah,
Angela Hill has lost twice by sub.
yeah. Klein has also been hanging out with Blanchfield. I mean, they've
They're
been
good
hanging out
friends.
together. Yeah,
They're
I see. I didn't know they were good friends. I just
yeah,
saw
they
that they
are.
were, you know, just hanging out with each other.
Yeah. Um. Okay, I like that. Yeah. Some of these odds are wide in these early fights. They definitely get a little less crazy further in the card. All right, Mariscal Sabatini. These odds have been kind of bouncing back and forth, right? Yeah, it was originally Chepe open as the favorite. Now Sabatini's closing as the favorite. Um, Sabatini submission. Let's look at it. That's if there's any way that this fight gets a finish, I don't really
I think he
trust.
passed it.
Did I? Sabatini sub right there, 550. Mariscal. I
That's
just,
not
I
bad.
don't know if Mariscal has the finishing ability though.
I
I,
mean, a lot of his fights have been by decision.
Yeah. Let's look at a Mariscal decision. Plus 300. It's not bad. Actually pretty good.
You know, that plus 550 for a dude who is very heavy and partaking in like grappling events outside of the UFC, that's pretty good money right there.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh man. Yeah, I like that a lot actually. I'm gonna have to try and get that later. Next fight we get Joe Mearshart and Kyle Dawkins. Uh I've been looking at the sub prop in this one. I'm kinda liking the sub here. You get
I
Kyle
mean, Doc
Dawkins.
is he has a lot of subs.
Yeah. Yeah, and GM3 is not going to want to strike. His striking isn't as great and yeah, Kyle Dawkins he knocked out Michelle Pereira. but he's not known for his striking whatsoever. That's actually like his like second knockout in his career. He has like 11 wins by submissions is definitely his way to go. And like I said, he's kind of active outside of UFC with grappling and stuff. So let's see, Dawkins by sub is 310. Wow, actually it's actually not as low as I expecting it. They think his KO prop is what's gonna hit. I don't know. I like his sub.
I,
I'm feeling the sub.
I like the KO prop, in my opinion. I think, like I said, I think if Dawkins does what fucking um Shabazian, was it not? Yeah, was it Edmund Shabazian
Hmm.
who last fought GM3? Um,
Last fight was
not
was it
Shabazian.
not
It
was it not
was
it wasn't oh, it was
McCall. It was
McCall. It was a check.
McCall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was McCall or Jace check. I feel like if he just does what McCall did, McCall knocked him down multiple times, and then every time GM3 would just lay there on his back, McCall's get up,
Yeah.
get up. I feel like if Kyle Dawkins just does that, because he was landing some clean shots on Michelle Pereira.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if he just does the same thing and doesn't really want to engage on the ground with GM3, because that's another thing, dude. You go on the ground with GM3, GM3 can get you.
Yeah.
He could you then that's when you're getting yourself in danger. So I got Kyle Dawkins getting the knockout.
Yeah, if you don't want to play a prop in this one, just because there is a lot of variables here, uh, the fight doesn't go to the scorecards, doesn't go to a decision, is basically a parlay piece -235, or if you want to play under or around, that's another decent leg there because there's no way this fight goes to the scorecards. I'd be very disappointed if this fight went to the scorecards. There's a lot
Yeah.
of there's a lot of fights on here that I don't think will see the scorecards, but I think there's a few where you're like, both these people are so good that there's a chance it will go to the scorecard. You
Yeah.
know, next fight. Okay, that's the old prop. Wow, the fact that it was even that close to a leg or a line was crazy. Aaron Blanchfield, Tracy Cortez. Uh, Aaron Blanchfield was my pick here. I think this is one of those fights I'm talking about that has a good chance of going to the scorecards. It's a 3-rounder. Both these girls kind of have a bit of a high level grappling. Blanchfield, I feel like I like her grappling a bit more because it's a bit wrestling heavy, but she also has proven to get submissions. Um, Blanchfield by sub +550, Cortez by sub +1500, but Blanchfield yeah, I mean Blanchfield by decision -125 is about what I thought it would be. It's women's MMA. It's
Yeah.
it's more often than not going to be a decision, and I'm just glad it's not as crazy as like a -200 or something, because I feel like Blanchfield, she definitely has finishing abilities. We saw what she did to Molly McCann, ripped a Kimura off of when Molly was on her back. She's nasty. She's not gonna settle in position. She's gonna work to improve, and yeah, especially if she wants to, get in the conversation for a title fight again. I think she needs to, put a stamp on this, whether the dominant 3-round win or it's a finish. But
100%.
yeah, I think she gets her get back though. I don't think she's gonna let Cortez beat her twice. Next fight, RoboCop versus Kopilov. Uh, the line's a lot wider than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be closer to a pick 'em. But RoboCop -184, Kopilov +148. The over under is set at 1.5. I think this definitely can go over 1.5. I like the
For
over.
sure.
I like the over 1.5 in this play. Um, if I really had to pick how I think this fight goes, I would think it'd be. I would want to say be on the scorecards. At least for RoboCop, I think Kopilov has a very high chance of knocking out RoboCop, especially since the last time we saw RoboCop, he got his win over Hermanson. Before that, he got shinned pretty bad by Jared Cannonier. Um, you know who knows what it looks like because it was a pretty quick finish over Jack. Um, let's see, what am I looking for here? I'm looking for Rodriguez decision +340, Kopilov decision +650. KO for Kopilov is +250. RoboCop +250. Damn. They think they're just gonna smoke each other. And they probably will. I mean, it's probably gonna be a great fight here. This, like I said, this has fight of the night potential. Next fight, Bo Nickel versus Rodolfo Vieira in the featured prelim. We've been talking about Rodolfo Vieira money line. I'm probably not going to dig too crazy in the props just because the money line's already plus enough. But if I did, it'd be Vieira decision. I think Bo Nickel, yes, he's like an all American wrestler, and he does have decent jujitsu, but Vieira has better jujitsu, and he has more of the experience. And he's actually, he's a big muscular guy for this weight class. It's right where he belongs. Like I talked about Bo Nickel on Tuesday. Unless he's like full of muscle now and not so like chubby looking. It's kind of funny to say because he's a crazy wrestler and he's got great conditioning and stuff. But he looks like he could cut down, and be down a weight class. Yeah, I don't know. I like Vieira in this one. Let's see. Do we have a prop? Vieira by decision. Nickel plus 140. Fuck. Vieira plus 500. Nickel, they have a plus 300 nickel KO prop. No fucking way. I kind of like the Vieira by sub too, low key. I feel like he could throw some up off his back if Nickel wants to try and take him down. But yeah, no,
I mean, like I said, fighting nerds. That fucking KO prop is at plus 2,000, dude.
yeah,
Hey, you want to be a degenerate?
it's widowy with the sprinkle.
You want to be a degenerate?
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, I probably won't go too crazy into the props on this one, but I like the money line for sure. Open up the main card. We get Dariush versus BSD. I've been on the side of BSD for this one. You're on Benil. BSD. I think, like I said, I think the only way he wins this inside the distance is by KO. And the odd makers kind of agree. They think a KO is most likely plus 160. Like I said, both these guys have really high level grappling. You get the American versus the Frenchman. The Frenchman has really good jujitsu. If Dariush were to win, it'd be probably on the scorecard, 100%. I don't see him getting a finish here.
Yeah.
Dariush by decision though is plus 470. BSD by decision is plus 440. I think this could just very well be a scorecard fight, and either way, you're plucking a plus 400. The over under is set at 1.5 though. I think it's definitely going over 1.5. So I might look at that prop. At the time of me making these. But the ones I have written down, we'll go over after this. But now that we're looking at these live together, I definitely am considering that one for sure. Next fight, Carlos Prates versus Leon Edwards. I'm on the side of Prates here. You are as well. The over-under is at 2.5, and they think it's definitely going over, which I kind of agree with. I think this fight has a very high chance of going to the scorecards. But for the degenerates who want to look at the props, Z Prates by KO is only plus 165. Holy fuck, dude. I feel like that's kind of misleading though, because it's like what we talked about. Prates, his most common method of victory is his KO. Well, like I said, Edwards has never been knocked out. So what I'm curious is how they priced the decision. So Prates by decision actually plus 250. Interesting. Edwards by decision is plus 290. I feel like those are just super low, man. I don't know. I might just dig into like this fight goes to decision, or the over 2.5, because these are very low price for a method of victory. Because it could very well be a finish, like you're saying, for Prates.
Yeah, that's what I feel like.
Yeah. Next fight, we get Michael Morales. I like his price as the underdog. I probably wouldn't dig too crazy into props, but if I did, it would be on Morales by KO. Morales by KO is plus 370. I like that a lot, actually. I'm glad that we're getting an underdog that feels like he should be the favorite, and the odds are kind of reflecting underdog odds for a prop that is very very likely for this fighter. Brady, if he were to win, it's either by submission because we know he likes to. He's gonna probably try to initiate the wrestling early, or it would be Brady by decision if he just wrestle fucks and just holds position. Where is the? There we go. Doc was stuck. Brady by decision plus 190. I don't like that. I think Morales gets this done inside the distance. I'm hoping at least. I like the KO prop here. All right, title fight number 1: Shevchenko versus Wei Li. The over under is set at 4.5, like I think it is. It should be. I think this fight's going to the scorecards. If you want to cut down some of the price, just say fight goes the distance. Yes. Or you can say fight to start round 5. Either way, it's priced very similar to that, but this is for it to start round 5. This is for it to go 2 minutes and 30 seconds into round 5. So that's why they're a little different in pricing. Let's see. Let's look at the decisions. So Wei Li by decision plus 210. Shevchenko by decision plus 155. I think Wei Li is also very live for a submission if her wrestling is as dominant as I think it could be. Wei Li by sub is plus 900. I might make a sub parlay. There's a few guys I like by sub that I feel like are kind of priced kind of crazy on this card. Like Sabatini, for example, that plus 550 on Pat is kind of wild. Yeah, I like the Wei Li price as an underdog. I think she's been an underdog. Oh, she was a favorite. It was actually a pick'em, and then she fell down to an underdog. Okay. Next fight, the main event, we got Islam and JDM. JDM has been an underdog the whole time. He's been at this 2-to-1 price. Makhachev, he's basically been floating around the 3-to-1 price almost. Or not 3-to-1. You got to bet 3 times to win 1. Is what I mean. Over unders at 3.5. I honestly thought it was gonna be lower. I thought it'd be sitting at the 2.5 or the 1.5 mark, because like we've talked about with Islam, his wrestling is very very suffocating, and he looks for submissions quick. And yeah, 3.5. I mean 3.5, crazy. Fight not going to decision is minus 160, and I really like that a lot. I think this fight has finish written all over it. So let's go over some of the finishes I think are likely. Maddalena by KO, plus 440. Makhachev by submission, plus 195. I don't think I really see anything else. Let's look at Maddalena by submission, just because he has been training with Craig Jones. Let's not throw out the window. Plus 2,700.
2,700.
and I understand it because like we talked about, Maddalena is a very heavy boxer and he is a heavy anti-wrestler. But when you're training with a guy like Craig Jones, you probably got an ace up your sleeve here. There isn't a lot of footage on you grappling or throwing up submissions or anything, other than the one viral video of you putting Craig Jones to sleep or faking putting him to sleep, whatever it was. But yeah, I like the Maddalena by KO prop here. But I'm probably not going to go crazy on the props in this fight. I'm probably just going to take the Maddalena 2-to-1 plus underdog here. It's a good price.
That would be an absolutely insane to see JDM lock up a just tight submission on Islam, because you know what? Islam ain't fucking tapping, bro.
Yeah.
There's no way Islam is gonna tap, dude. So I'm not gonna lie. Ever since I saw him fight Charles Oliveira, that is one way that I have kind of not really dreamt about, but just a little bit. Seeing Islam like go in for some takedown, get caught in a gilly, real fucking tight, and then Islam just goes to sleep because he refuses to tap. Those are some of the only ways I see Islam ever losing, is by either like a knockout or by submission, and he just goes out cold because he ain't gonna tap, bro.
Yeah, go out on your sword is what they say.
Yeah, dude.
Or on your shield. I forget what it's sword or shield.
I'm just saying. That would be insane to see.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
All right, let's get over to the whiteboard real quick and let's go over some of the plays. The highest. Let's go over some of the plays. Let's see. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay. So I've talked about this many times. The way I break down my cards, especially on pay-per-views, is I'll look into the prelims, the main cards, even the early prelims, and I'll make tickets based on all those sections. So starting off with the early prelims, I've got Camilo moneyline. I've got Sir Serkayev inside the distance. I've got Fatima Klein on the money line, which I'm subject to change that because minus 500 is kind of lame, and I'm probably gonna end up throwing on either her spread or I'll throw it on one of the props that we talked about. Um, Chepe Mariscal plus 3.5. I think that fight will go to the distance, um, unless Pat gets a submission there. But these guys both don't have very high finishing ability. Pat's finishing ability is really just on his submission, and it's just whether or not Chepe can defend that. And I'm kind of banking on that and him winning a round here. And Kyle Dawkins minus 3.5. I think he's getting a finish, so I think that's going to cover. My prelim section, I got Malcolm Wellmaker money line. That's gonna change 100%. There's no price on that fight yet, so it just depends on what that looks like. But I'll probably end up playing his KO prop when that does open up. Aaron Blanchfield, I am playing the money line. Fight not going the distance in the Kopolov Robocop fight. I want to see some violence in that one, so I'm kind of banking on it. Rodolfo Vieira plus 3.5 on his spread. I think if this does go to the scorecards, I think he is live to at least win a round. And then my main card, I'm rocking with BSD moneyline, rocking with Protest moneyline, Morales moneyline, fight to start round 5, and the Zhang and Valentina fight, and then the JDM moneyline. That is how I've broken it down. Like I said, it's subject to change. Any changes I do make, I'll just put in the Cozy Boys Discord. Link will be in the description below. So if you want to get updates, I'll make sure to post those. I don't know exactly when I'll post them. I'm heading over to U-ZAH-BUS tomorrow night. Gonna try and get bets placed Friday night. But I'll make sure it's up at least by Saturday morning in case you guys do want those.
Yeah.
Yeah. My next bet is my cycle. I've been doing my cycle bet for at least the last couple years now. My cycle bet looks like this for this card. I'm rocking with the Kyle Dawkins sub. I'm rocking with Aaron Blanchfield decision and Michael Morales KO. I feel like those are all pretty live. Now for the spreads, if I'm gonna play spreads, I gotta place them up here because the casinos around Z don't have spreads. So I might get these placed tomorrow. And from what I've seen on DraftKings, that's the book I use up here. Sir Serkayev minus 3.5, Dawkins minus 3.5, Kopolov plus 3.5, Vieira plus 3.5, Morales plus 3.5, and then Zhang Weili plus 5.5. And for the Kopolov one, I know I said I think Robocop's going to win. But if it does go to the scorecards, I think Kopolov can get around. And that's the way I play this. Just because I say the name of the opposite fighter does not mean I think they're going to win. It's just I think they're live to win a round, and I think it has a good chance of going to the scorecards. And then my method of victories for these as they stand right now, Camilo by sub because Slug Claus is very he's very shitty on the mat. And he does have some submission wins, so there's that. Sir Serkayev KO. He's only had one sub, and it was literally his last fight that he got that sub win, which is kind of crazy. But I think he's live for a KO here. And then Fatima Klein, I have her by decision. I might look into the sub prop. I might double chance that, or I might just keep it at decision. But I really like her submission chances in that fight. And then I said Pat Sabatini by decision. And then the prelim section, I said Malcolm Wellmaker by KO. I'm hoping they don't fucking juice that out of the world. I hope they keep that.
They're probably gonna.
I'm kind of hoping they keep it around at least like minus 200 if they are gonna really just shit on it. And then Aaron Blanchfield decision, Robocop decision, and Vieira decision to close out the prelims. And then for the main card, I have BSD KO, Protez decision, Morales KO, Zhang Weili decision, and JDM KO. I think
I like that.
yeah, it's a pretty large slate for me. Um, that's kind of how I'm approaching this week's card because we haven't had a really good pay-per-view in a while like this. Um, I think the only card that you can really compare to this card is UFC 300, where and I think even UFC 300 might be better than 322 if I'm being honest. Because you look at 300, you could probably take any fight from UFC 300 and it could probably be, a fight night main card at least, or like a fight night main event. This one, this one, this
100%.
one, it just has a lot of star power, dude. A lot of big names.
Oh yeah, a lot of huge names on this pay-per-view this Saturday, and I just
Mm.
hope you guys are watching. I really do. Going into some of my picks over here, I don't have a whole lot written up just yet, but these ones that I'm about to talk about, I'm pretty confident in. Um, I really like some early violence. I love seeing some fights not going the distance. I love seeing some finishes. So here's a three-legger I got going on. Susakayev to win in round one. Wellmaker by knockout. And Kyle Dawkins by knockout. Like I said, I really do think Kyle Dawkins can get that done. Just looking back at his fight with Michelle Pereira, he put Pereira on his ass. And Wellmaker just being fucking Wellmaker, he's getting another striker in that fight. Um, I think Wellmaker could get that done. Moving to another one. Another thing I like to do is bet on like the first three fights. Uh, just see if I can make some quick cash or whatever. Uh, Slava Claus money line, Susakayev in round one, and Klein. I'm gonna try to get a double chance. Klein submission or knockout, or maybe just submission or points.
Mm.
Um, I have a little bit of a degenerate play. Vieira submission, Kopylov money line, Kyle Dawkins in round one, and Malcolm Wellmaker knockout. And moving to the main, I really like that Dariush. Give me Dariush decision. Morales money line and Carlos Prates knockout. Like I was talking about earlier, I am going to do a two-leg parlay of two underdogs that I really like of Rodolfo Vieira and Michael Morales. Honestly, I might even make that my copper parlay. That might be the copper parlay for Saturday is Rodolfo Vieira money line and Michael Morales money line. I like that a lot. I might even add another leg to it. I don't know.
Mm.
Um, a couple of the underdogs I like in the main fight and the main card as well is obviously Zhang Weili and Jack Della. So that's another two-legger that I'm gonna get going on is JDM and Zhang Weili in the last two fights of the night. And another type of card that I like to make is not starting round three, not going the distance. All these fights that I have on this ticket, I'm going to put them all at not going the distance. Susakayev versus Makhachev, Kyle Dawkins versus GM3, Mel Waker versus oh my God, Malcolm
Mm.
Wellmaker versus Ewing, Prates versus Edwards, Morales versus Brady, and JDM versus Islam. All those fights not going the distance. And that's all I got written up for now. I will make more. I do plan on making more. And like Joe had talked about, the link to our Discord will be down below, and we'll post all of our parlays, all of our plays in there.
Mm.
Um,
And
yeah,
if there's any,
we,
we're definitely gonna probably play some ladder bets. It's another new thing we've been doing with
yep.
but yeah. So we'll update you guys whenever we get there. Um, and yeah, feel free to comment if you have any questions or hit us up in the Discord. Uh, if you do have any questions or anything like that, uh, yeah, we'll have our phones on us.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys.
Yeah. But that is it for the Friday episode. This one ran a little bit long, but we appreciate you guys if you're still here. As always. Yeah. Appreciate it. With that being
Yep.
said,
Thank you.
guys, make sure you guys are watching the fights. Don't be casual. Don't be lame. Stay cozy.
Stay cozy.
Stay cozy.
Stay cozy.
Stay cozy.
And we'll see you on Saturday night.
Peace.
Stay cozy.
Stay cozy.